Welcome to another olive skin video. Today's video is going to be a review, demonstration, and application of the Rare Beauty Liquid Touch Weightless Foundation by the beautiful Selena Gomez from her makeup line, and I'm going to be reviewing it for individuals with olive, yellow, medium, and tan skin tones. Now, I've already been using this foundation, and I also reviewed it briefly in a previous video on my top 5 best foundations for olive skin tones, but I basically wanted to film another more in-depth video because I absolutely love this foundation, and they also have a shade section specifically for olive skin tones, so I definitely had to give you an in-depth review of this specific foundation. So as I've mentioned before, olive skin is a color on the human skin spectrum with a green, yellow, gold, and sometimes gray undertone. So the kind of foundation you should be choosing if you do have olive skin, more generally speaking, is a neutral toned foundation in order to balance your olive color, but this will also further depend on if you are a warm toned olive, a medium toned olive, a warm toned olive, a cool toned olive, or a neutral and true olive. So basically, if you're more of a warm toned olive, I would go with a more yellow toned foundation. If you are a cool toned olive, I would go with a more pink toned foundation, but still remaining within that category, a neutral category. So this is basically what the packaging and bottle looks like. I personally love it. So the packaging is also eco-friendly, and this is what it looks like up close. And I also love the applicator because it just means that I can control how much product I am taking out of the bottle, and I'm not accidentally tipping out a lot of the foundation. I have heard some people saying that it may not be too hygienic just because you're applying it on your face and then putting it back into the bottle, but honestly a lot of products use this similar kind of applicator, including my concealer, and it hasn't really done anything bad to my skin, so I personally don't have a problem with it. Also, by the way, it's also vegan and cruelty free. So the foundation itself is described as a foundation with a natural finish but still having medium to full coverage. So it's meant to be a long-lasting weightless foundation that feels like a serum, and it's also buildable and layerable, so you can always add more layers and build on it just depending on your personal preference for the coverage. I do have that foundation on right now, but I can honestly say it always feels like I have nothing on my face whenever I'm wearing this foundation. It feels even more lightweight than some of my tinted moisturizers that I use, but at the same time still having that sufficient coverage. For me, I feel like the coverage is pretty much a medium to full coverage, so yeah, personally works really well for me. As far as the shades go, they have 48 different shades, which is great because brands should be inclusive and catering to everyone and all skin tones. So I have a neutral olive skin tone, which basically just means that I have a combination and a mix of both warm and cool skin tones. So the shade that I personally went with is a 230N, and on the description of the 230N it also says neutral olive, and since I'm neutral olive, it's perfect for my skin tone. And if you are a shade darker, then I would go with the 280N. And as I mentioned before, Rare Beauty basically has an entire section for olive skin tones, so there's plenty of shade options that you can test out as well. And even if you're like me and your skin color basically depends on the season, basically being more tan in the summer seasons and being lighter during the winter seasons, then you can also switch between these two shades and colors. So I'll just quickly swatch the 230N on my wrist. Yeah, okay, so that's picking it up now. As you can see, that's the shade, and here is a side-by-side comparison of the two shades, which is the 230N and the 280N, which are both neutral olives. Right, so let's move on to the application and the demonstration.
Get some sun, baby, it's time to go. All we need to put on is the radio. I can feel the heat is rising, and that beat is hypnotizing.
As you can see, the shade blends in really well with my skin tone, and it honestly feels very lightweight and is very comfortable to wear. And also the appearance, I think both on camera as well as in person, it does not look too cakey or anything like that. So this is honestly one of my top and favorite foundations, and this is what it looks like with the rest of my makeup on as well. That is with the blush, bronzers, and powder. So that's it for the video. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.
Shine, shine.